Hi from Pafford Homestead. We are keeping on moving on day by day. Charlie's still in the hospital. He's having oxygen problems, but he is doing better. So today is Saturday, and I have already mowed the grass, and I've already done all of my shopping for the week that I needed to get done. So now it's time for me to start in the kitchen for meal prepping for this week for Autumn and myself. So I figured I would take you all along with me on what I'm doing this week. So I'm working with pork this week, and I'm going to make a Mexican stew and green chili stew actually, and I'm going to make some smothered pork steaks. So follow along with me on my journey as I do all of this cooking and get ready for the week. Stay tuned. So I'm here in my kitchen, and I have a half a pork loin, well, a quarter of a pork loin left, and that is what I'm going to make my green chili stew with. So this is the size that I have. So I'm going to rinse it off, and then I'm going to trim off all the fat. But for another night, we're going to have sirloin pork steaks. And I'm going to take both of these, and I'm going to brown them, and then I'm going to smother them in gravy and put them in the oven. So let's start, though, by rinsing off the pork. Bring y'all over here with me. There you go. So we're going to rinse this pork off really well. And these are some beautiful sirloin porks. As you can see, it's a lot bigger than my hand. So that's going to last Autumn and I probably, I will say, about 4 days right here. And with the pork Mexican stew that I'm going to make, I'll take for my lunches, and of course we'll eat that for dinners also when we're not eating the pork steak. But whatever is left, I will take and I will can it, and we'll have something for a quick, easy dinner later on, in case we don't feel like cooking. So, okay, so I've got it all washed off. So I'm going to take it over here to the cutting board, and I'm going to start cutting the fat off of the pork loin. Sorry, it slipped my head. So let's come over here and start cutting this fat off. Lay it on its belly. Well, of course, any of it on a pork loin is a belly because it's round, of course. And I think I might have to go sharpen this knife. Let me go and clean this knife up and sharpen it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, and I've got my knife sharpened up. I should have checked it before I started, but, you know, do what you do. And like I said, I have been keeping myself busy, trying to keep up with work and keep up with the house, keep up with Autumn. And I went to the hospital this morning and dropped Charlie off another bag of stuff that he needed. And And of course, that's always hard to do, knowing that he's upstairs and Autumn and I couldn't go up there to see him. But you know, we're praying, and he had another setback today. They had to raise his oxygen up to 13 liters again. So, but hopefully, you know, they get that straightened out pretty soon. You start working with him, building his lungs and everything back up. Look at that. That would be a pretty piece of bacon, wouldn't it? I think I'm going to keep that and put it in with it because it's not that much. So, okay, as you can see, I've got the fat and everything cut off of it. So I'm just going to take and chop it up. I don't know about you, but when stuff happens in your life, you start reflecting on different things. And I've been doing that a lot lately. And I've been thinking about how blessed that Charlie and myself has been these past 26, almost 27 years. With our family and with our friends and everything. And I'm very thankful, you know, that we have everyone that we do in our lives, including y'all. God brings people into certain people's lives for a reason, and he makes things happen for a reason. And that's what's going on now. And he brought our family into our lives and brought all of y'all into our lives to help. And it really does help knowing, you know, that you have people out there that care. And we really do appreciate it. As you can see, this is a thickness that I cut it in. Okay, and I'm just cutting it into strips right now because I'm going to cube it, is what I'm going to do. And this stew, or Mexican stew is what they call it, green chili stew, is really easy. It's pork. It's a poblano pepper, bell peppers, onions, tomatoes, tomato sauce, and a little bit of hominy if you want. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. See, I'm cubing it now. I figured I'd get, you know, my prepping done for the week today so I can have Sunday, and because it's supposed to start raining Monday, so I'm going to, and I know, why are you going to do that, Brandy, when it's supposed to start raining all next week? You might have a tropical storm next week. I'm going to wash the cars and clean them out. I don't know about you, but I feel that a clean car it just makes you feel better. And I like to have clean vehicles. But yes, so I don't care if it's going to rain or not. I'm going to clean and detail the truck and the car because Charlie told me, he says, when I do come home, I want you to pick me up in the truck because it's easier to get into than the car. So I want to pick him up in a good looking ride. He's going to be like a king. Okay, so I've got all of that cut up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to set it aside in my pan to where I can season it here in just a second. Let me wash my hands real quick. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, go hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell and get notifications for when we post new videos, and give us a thumbs up. Check out some of our cooking videos or gardening videos. We do a little bit of everything. Fishing, camping. Go check out some videos. But back to this. Let me grab my seasonings and y'all stick with me. Thank you. See you in just a second. 2 shakes of the lamb's tail is like I like to say, and Charlie makes fun of me. Alright, so I got all of my seasonings together and put them all in my little red, well, not all of them in my little red cup, but I did the onion powder, garlic powder, pepper, some original Texas steak chop dust, and I have, for the juice, I have some ground cumin, paprika, and some adobo seasoning, and that will go in to season his taste. So we are going to take and season all of this meat up with just the garlic powder, the pepper, the onion powder, the steak seasoning, and that's what we're going to season the steak with. I actually put the fat in the skillet to cook so I don't waste it. And this is going to go to our puppy dogs, our fur babies. I'll cut it up and give them a little bit at a time so they have a treat. So I'm just taking and browning this and getting it all cooked through so that they can have a good little treat later. So let's bring you back over here and let's season up this meat. My dog's already coming in saying, "Ooh, I smell something good, and I know that's for me." And rub all of this around, flip it over. It up really good. Yummy, 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 yummy. Sure it's all seasoned up really, really well. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. So I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator until I'm ready to cook it. Bear with me. So I've got my onions and bell peppers and poblano peppers here that I'm going to take and cut up now for the green chili stew. And I'm also going to go ahead and cut some onion up for the smothered pork steaks. So why not do it all? So for my pork steaks, I'm going to take and just do slices, half moon. Just do some half moons like this. And this will be for my pork steaks, for the gravy and cooking the pork steaks in. Okay, now for my pork stew, you can clean your onion. There we go. Make pretty good sized chunks out of them. You know, because you want to taste it. So, there's my onion. I got a bowl over here to put it all in. So now, I've already washed my peppers and I washed my onion and everything. So let's just clean it out. Wash out all the seeds. I do pretty good size chunks with that too because you don't want it to cook away. Everybody cuts bell peppers differently. I cut them different from Charlie, and you probably cut it different than I do. That one I kind of cut off center, but that's okay. So I'm still working on the pork fat for the dogs. It's still over there cooking. I added a little bit of water to it so that it can cook fully through. I don't want to give them raw pork just like I wouldn't eat raw pork. I don't want my babies to eat raw pork. So, there's your bell pepper. Now let's do the poblano pepper. And clean it out just like you do a bell pepper. Excuse me. Do these in good sized chunks as well. Poblano peppers has a really good flavoring to me. take and stuff them too, like you would a stuffed bell pepper. Take and stuff these. I said I'm making enough to where, you know, whatever I have left, I'm going to take and can so that, you know, Charlie or myself later on, maybe a few months, a couple months down the road, if we don't feel like cooking, we can just take and open up a can of the green chili stew, make us some taquitos to go with it, and there's our dinner. We have this restaurant, well, we used to have this restaurant around Houston called Poncho's, and they served a green chili stew. And forever, Charlie tried to get the recipe, so he would just go up there and just taste it and taste it and taste it, and he would make on it and make on it and make on it until finally he perfected the recipe. And now we just make it ourselves, since there's only one Poncho's now in the whole Houston area, and it's a little ways away. Let me wash my cutting board. So, okay, that is done. So now I'm going to take and put a little bit of olive oil in my pan here. I'm going to put it on medium. Take a little bit of olive oil, or my pot, not really a pan, so that I can saute the pork and everything. Go. But you know what I did forget? I forgot my garlic cloves. You gotta have garlic cloves. You have to have that. That is a must. So I'm gonna take 2 pieces, or two little cloves, and cut up for it. If you take your cloves and you just smash them with a knife, see how easy it peels? It's gonna make a liar out of me now on this one. There we go, clean that off. Now, squish it a little more so it cuts easy. A different one. There we go. Now we got our garlic. Okay. Okay, so I just took the pork fat out for the dogs. Set it over here. Look at that. The dogs are going to have such a great meal of that. Well, a snack, not really a meal. So, since I've got my skillet already heated up too, I'm going to go ahead and I put it on medium low. I'm going to go ahead and put these pork steaks in and get them going. And now I'm going to put this all in here. Get this browning. Turn this down a little bit to medium low. Let that brown just a bit. I want y'all to be able to see both of them. There we go. Let me add just a little bit more olive oil to this. Let pork soak it up. Put my lid on my pots over here. It's already smelling so good. Now I still have to peel and cut my potatoes. I don't remember if I said that in the beginning for the stew. If I did not, I apologize. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? So now, since it's pretty much brown, I'm going to take and add my onions and my peppers. I'm not going to add the garlic yet because the garlic will burn quickly. So I'm going to let these cook and then I'll add my garlic. A lot of people do that and they will cook the garlic away and let it burn by adding it too soon. So since I added this, let that heat up again. And we'll be right back. Okay, so now I am going to add the garlic into the stew. And I flipped the chops just a little while ago. So now I've got juice and everything in there. And they are looking amazing. Give this a stir around from adding the garlic. Chops. With these chops, you don't want it to all the way cook because you're going to make a gravy and put them in the oven. So I'm going to get my plate, well, my pan to rest them on. You add some different foil to it. Okay, so I changed out my foil. I'm going to take my chops out. And I'm going to set them to the side. I'm going to clean my pan out, not too well. And then I'm going to start on the gravy. So let's give this a stir and go to my next step with this. I'll put it back on low. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and add my hominy. I drained off the juice. So I'm going to add that. And I'm going to add my tomatoes. Stir it all around really good. Then I'm going to add water. So let's add water to this. Now, I'm going to add enough water to where I can bring it to a good boil. Because it's kind of like a soup, but it's also, they call it a Mexican stew, so. But I'm not going to add any seasonings yet. I'm going to hold off on the seasonings just to bring it to boil. Then I'll add my seasonings to it. I'm going to put a lid on it. And I'm going to let it cook. And probably the last 15-20 minutes, I'll add the potatoes. So I'm going to clean this pan out and get it ready to make gravy. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. And I cleaned out my pan. I didn't wash it because I want the residue and everything in there. So I'm going to turn this back on medium. And get some olive oil. And we're going to make some gravy. I got all-purpose flour here. Remember those onions that I told you to set aside? Did I set aside? Well, it's going in here too. There we go. Probably gonna have to add just a little bit more oil. We'll see here in just a minute. Yep. Gotta add just a little bit more oil to it. Okay, get this going, turn it on medium low. You don't want it to burn. good and coated on the onions. That's going to help it too. A little bit more oil. No, ma'am, Autumn. Out of there. There we go. So I don't want it too thick with the flour. All those scrapings from the pork loin, from the sirloin off the bottom. Probably hear Penny and Biddy in the background playing. Charlie showed me, you know, growing up, I grew up with my dad, and he didn't cook too often, and my granny helped raise us, and she cooked, but, you know, when we was little, we was worried about playing outside and being with our friends, so we didn't sit around and watch people cook or anything like that. So when I married Charlie, I didn't know how to cook, and he taught me how to cook. And he's one of the best cooks I've ever had. You know, best tasting food. No one can ever make food like him. So he taught me how to do everything that I know how to cook. So he taught me how to do this gravy and everything, and it turns out really good because we're going to put it in the oven once it's all done. Going to go into the oven and finish cooking. So let me get some water for the gravy. I got water, so we're going to turn this up now. We're really going to start cooking it. I just noticed I didn't have it on the right setting. I have my single burner, not my double burner on. There we go. And you don't want your stuff to burn your gravy and everything. You don't want the flour and everything to burn. So, I'm not going to let it burn. Since I know Charlie's going to see this video, he's going to want it to be his way perfect. Just kidding. I know he's going to say, you had to make that when I wasn't home. That's going to be the first thing out of his mouth when he sees this video. Y'all can see how it's starting to brown. And once my gravy is made, I will add in more seasonings and everything. I do need to add my salt and pepper. Where's my salt and pepper at? Here it is. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Okay, so now just about hot enough, just about brown enough. Because you want to cook the flour taste out. You don't want your gravy tasting like raw flour. Put in a little bit of water. Stirred up in there. A little more water. Do just a little bit of water at a time because you don't want your gravy too thick, but you don't want your gravy too thin either. And that's way too thick. That's probably enough water right there. That just came out a little too quick. After I sit there and told y'all not to do it, what did I do? I put way too much in at one time for it to soak up. So I'm not making a milk gravy, but I am making a white gravy, just not a milk gravy. The darker your gravy, the more time you let it cook. A lot of times I like to make my gravy with a whisk. I don't know about y'all, but I do. Make it just a little bit thinner since the pork chops are going to go in, and we're going to actually put it in the oven, so that's going to thicken it up. We're going to have this one day with some rice and corn this week. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so let's start with seasonings. I'm going to put some garlic powder in it because garlic just goes with everything. Correct? Correct. And I'm going to actually put some more onion powder because you never can have too much. Let it stir around. Now a little more black pepper. And just a tad bit more salt, because I just know. go. So this is ready to put your chops in. So let me go get the chops from over here from where I had them sitting. Look at these beautiful babies. Like I said, you don't want them completely done because you're going to cook them in here. Gravy all on top of them. Smother it down in there. Reason why they call it smothered chops. So I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. So now I'm going to put a lid on this and I'm going to stick it in the oven for about 30 minutes. Lid on. Turn the stove off right there. Now, like I said, I'm going to let that cook for about 20 to 30 minutes and then it'll be ready. And we'll taste it whenever we taste the pork stew. So let's go ahead, speaking of the pork stew, let's go ahead and check on it. So it's been over here boiling. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to add our other seasonings. We're going to add a little bit of paprika. Not too much. We're going to add some cumin. I said I would. There we go. Really? Oh, it's not open. Ha! That's funny. It hasn't been used yet. That's surprising because normally we use cumin in a lot of stuff around here. Okay. So I'll add some cumin to it. You know what? Open it up. There we go. It don't take much of this. So now we're going to add the adobo seasoning. And this is onion, garlic, and cilantro seasoning mix. And it wants to not come out. Let me break it up just a little bit. There we go. And some salt. And some pepper. And we'll do a taste test, you know, just to make sure that the seasonings and everything are right. Probably in about 15 minutes. So I need to actually set my timer so that I can check the chops and everything else and flip them, because I'm going to flip them in about 15 minutes also. So I'm going to put the lid back on here and we're going to let all of this stuff cook. And I will be back with you as soon as it's time to flip everything and check for seasonings. But if you have not already, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, give me a thumbs up, and go watch some videos. I'll be back. Okay, so it got 30 seconds left, and then we're going to flip the pork steaks, and then we're going to do a seasoning taste test on the stew, and we're going to add the potatoes and let them cook 15-20 more minutes. So come on with me. Oops, sorry. Let's start with the pork chops. pork steaks. Start with that. Let me bring them out the oven. Lid off. Point this to where y'all can actually see them. There we go. So we're going to take them, we're going to flip them. Oops. I don't need that right now anyways. Put some gravy all on top. Onions. Doesn't this look amazing already? Yes, I just did that. All right, we're going to put this back in the oven. And we're going to flip you over here to this side. And we're going to check on the stew. Look at that. Look. Doesn't this just look amazing? Look at these beautiful colors. So, let's taste it. Actually, it is right on point. I really don't need to add anything because I cannot make it spicier because of Autumn, because she's going to be eating it. So I can take and add spice to it myself later in my portion. And when Charlie comes home, he can take and add to his portion, whatever he wants. So the next time you see me, it will be the final project. I mean, the final... Yeah, that. It will be the final taste test. There you go, taste test. So, hang in there. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like, give me some thumbs up. Share me around. I'll see you in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Bye. Hey, I'm back, everybody. And I just took the pork steaks out of the oven. Look at this, y'all. Look at how tender these are. Look at that. Barely even touch it and it just comes apart. That's the way I like it. So, and I added the potatoes after I cut the camera off. So, this is the pork stew. The potatoes are ready. Look at this. It just took 15 minutes to make. With the, well, not make, but for the potatoes to cook. So that's all ready to go. So what I am going to do is I'm going to taste a little bit of this. Okay, so we're back for this taste test. Yes. We are going to taste this. Look at this. Look at that. This is the pork stew, the green chili stew. Get a little bit of everything. Hang on, monkey. I know what she wants. She wants to meet. There you go. Okay, so here's the green chili stew. Mmm. Is that good? Mmm. So very good. Very, very good. You put a little gravy on the pork steak so I can show you all that. Okay. So that's actually pretty good. Like I said, season it to your taste. We season it to ours. I'll probably add a little more cayenne pepper and everything to mine, but it's because we like spice. But here is the pork steak. I didn't want to get too much because this is going to be another night's dinner. But look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. And if you look how tender it turned out. Get me a little onion and gravy. And let's try this. Isn't that pretty? Mmm. So good. Now, remember me telling y'all that I cooked that, that I cooked that pork fat for a treat for the fur babies. Well, we're getting a treat, so why can't the fur babies get a treat? You want another piece of meat? There you go. There's another piece. So, let's give the fur babies a treat. Here is that pork fat that I fried up for them. I went on ahead and cut just a few little pieces for them. Come here, Penny. There you go. You want a treat? Bit Bit? You want a treat, Bit Bit? There you go, baby. So, this is our dinner and lunches for the week. So hopefully you enjoyed the videos. If you did, please like, give me some thumbs up, and share. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to get more cooking videos and fishing videos, gardening videos, camping videos, jelly videos. I do a little bit of everything, and canning. Yeah, canning too. So make sure you stay safe, be blessed. From our home to your home. Bye, everybody. Love you.